welcome. I'm Dr. Bill, and this is another episode of Where Spirit Meets Science. The topic today is pretty exciting, and I think it'll be one you'll be most interested in, and that is talking about infinite supply, okay, and unlocking the abundance within. This is our topic today. And I'd like to start that off with a quote from Joel Goldsmith, which actually wrote a book called The Infinite Supply. I highly recommend it. Anyway, he says, supply is spiritual, an activity of consciousness. At first we may agree with this only intellectually, but the day will come when it will be spiritually discerned. And then we shall see that the world of supply is within, although it appears visibly in the without. End quote. That's a powerful quote. And if you think about it, when we think about abundance, it's not the typical thing that's kind of indoctrinated into us in our current society and culture of what that means. But the significance is, in the context of this abundance, is amazing. And it will transform your life. So if you think about the quote, we always think of it's an intellectual process, and I love what he says about being spiritually discerned. And as you know, in this podcast, we're always talking about going within and spiritually discerning and following our path, because the greatest journey you're going to take is within yourself. And it's the same thing with infinite supply. It's not something you're going to gain outside of you. It's something that will come into you by the change that occurs within you, if that makes sense. So let's do our usual thing. Let's start with a guided meditation with the theme of infinite supply. And then we'll do a deep dive and understanding supply as a spiritual activity, and then exploring consciousness and abundance. Okay? So what I'd like you to do right now is to take a minute to find yourself in a comfortable position. And I will start some music and we will go through a guided meditation. Now, as we go through this meditation, I'd like you to focus on the energy of abundance and releasing any thoughts of scarcity. And this is something that's actually challenging to do, but it is part of your spiritual journey in terms of growing as a spiritual being, having a human experience, and that is to move away from your ego's thoughts of scarcity and lack to ones of abundance. And there's a powerful energy with that, and like attracts like. If you talk about the science of this in terms of attraction, that energy that you're creating by those thoughts, because thoughts are things, thoughts are energy, are going to create this same energy and bring that to you. And as we focus on this meditation, let's focus on an affirmation of I am that infinite supply. Okay? So find yourself in a comfortable position. I'll put some music on here and we'll get started. First, I want you to take 3 deep breaths, in through the nose and out through the mouth. Breathe in and breathe out. And as we're breathing in and breathing out, we're releasing the cares of the day, the cares of those things that are pressing us to think about. Breathe in and breathe out. And as we're breathing in, let us breathe in that energy of infinite supply, the energy of abundance in our life. And this doesn't just mean money, or it also means love. It could be friendships, and it could be an abundance of many, many things. Abundance does not limit it to that. Abundance means everything is available to you. Breathe in and breathe out. If thoughts come into your mind, or thoughts of scarcity, like I can't have that, or I'm not worthy of that, release those thoughts. Release whatever it is that's negative within you. The stories you tell yourself that you can't have this or you can't have that. This is the time to release those. Feel that strong energy of abundance. It is all around you. It is within you. Breathe in and breathe out. And as we're breathing in and breathing out, we feel energized. We feel this continuous presence of the divine working through us and as us. Breathe in and breathe out. If thoughts try to creep into your mind, just release those. Don't give them any attention. Focus on the energy of abundance. You've had abundance in your life, so you know what that feels like. Think of a time when you had that connection with something really wonderful that happened in your life. Something that came into your life unexpectedly. That's the energy of abundance. Breathe in and breathe out. Continue to feel all that coming into your essence. And it's not only feeling from the outside that you feel, but it's a feeling from within. It is divinely what is already innate within you. Because that's the secret. The energy of abundance and infinite supply is already a part of you. Breathe into that energy and breathe out, releasing all thoughts of scarcity and lack. Breathe in and breathe out. Feel the flow of that energy coming into your presence as it bubbles up within inside your spirit, within inside you, wanting to come forth like a fountain. Erupting to that consciousness of infinite supply. You feel peace. You feel the presence of that energy. body is vibrating with it is so powerful, so positive. You feel that there is nothing that you can accomplish. Because everything is available to you. You are a powerful being within. And your presence in the world, in this energy, creates change. It actually creates the abundance for others. Like a stone thrown into a still pond, the ripples of this energy exude out from you into where you live, wherever you work, through the world and through the universe. And as we are feeling comfortable and feeling this presence, we can envision all the things that we wish for in our life. We can see it as if as a movie playing out within our consciousness. Whatever that is for you. Breathe in and breathe out. And now let's bring ourselves back to the present moment as we continue to breathe in deeply and exhaling, releasing that last bit of scarcity and lack, those thoughts that trouble us. And now you feel yourself feeling heavier, sitting back in your seat. And here we are. Did you feel that? Did you feel that energy and that power? I am that infinite supply. This is your affirmation for today. Do it every day. Now let's take a deeper dive in trying to understand supply as a spiritual activity. You know, our society and culture, it teaches us and indoctrinates us into thinking that supply in our lives is proportional to whatever physical effort we put out to get it. In other words, if we work really hard and at our jobs, and we're going to have abundance, whatever. And again, it's not just about money, but it's abundance of maybe friendships in our life, abundance of love, abundance of anything that's that. Because our egos and part of this indoctrination in our culture and society and how we were brought up, how we were raised, we begin our lives actually in a place of infinite supply. There isn't anything at a very young age that we don't believe that we can have. But we get pulled down and we get told that we have to do this way or behave a certain way for us to have that. In other words, we have to do something physical and exert that effort outside of us, because that abundance is available only outside of us. But this is just an illusion. It's based on a consciousness of this scarcity and lack, and it's not based on truth. So for us to unlock this abundance within, we must transform and transcend this level of consciousness if we're going to live a life full of abundance, one of effortless, infinite supply. Now, this shifting of this mindset from scarcity to one of inner abundance is definitely a spiritual activity. So I have an analogy of something I like to think about, which is very simple, but when you think about it, you can think of it as it applies to you. So think about an orange tree, okay? And I've seen plenty of orange trees and orange groves in Florida. Tremendous abundance of oranges, okay? And does not the seed of the orange planted in the ground give birth to an orange tree bearing abundant fruit? And does not that orange tree continue to produce fruit after it is picked? So think about that for a moment. You plant a seed in the ground, orange tree grows forth and bears fruit. Now, if the orange tree was operating from a mindset of scarcity and lack, you would pick all the fruit and no more fruit would come. But that's not true. It continues to bear fruit day after day, month after month, year after year, and continue to have abundance. Well, that same truth embodies you. There's only one power, and that is the power of Spirit or God that's working through us and as us. Indeed, we live in an abundant world where we think that we have to pray for the things we want for us to have them. But I want to shift your mindset a little bit here in terms of thinking of traditional prayer. And maybe you don't do prayer, or you don't believe in that, or whatever, it doesn't matter. But if you think about the activity of prayer itself, it's a pleading of not one, a pleading like, please give me this, blah, 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 whoever you want to pray to. And it doesn't come from a place of knowing and affirmation. And this is the mindset we have to shift. The spiritual realization that we must come to, is that supply is already within us. It is never outside of us, or something we must plead for or go get somehow, right? So think about the orange tree when you think about this, when you're shifting your mindset. Imagine you are the orange tree, that you have continual abundance coming from you. Because that energy attracts those things that do come into your life. The right job, the right love in your life, the right friends, the right business relationships, whatever it is, okay? To truly have all that we desire in this life, we must first bring ourselves into alignment with that knowing that we are that divine expression of God seeking its good in this life. It's very important. So think about that in terms of, if you can think about examples in your life where your mind automatically goes to, many times, we've all done it, like, oh no, I can't have that, or can't live the life I want to live, And this is just our ego talking. This is just programming that we have within our minds that we need to release because it no longer serves us. And you may know that on some level intuitively, that as you're saying it to yourself, you don't really believe that. It doesn't sit right with you. It doesn't resonate with you, especially when you've engaged on a spiritual journey, excuse me, that's moving you down your spiritual path. You're going to come up against all of these things as you move on your path. So now let's shift to exploring our consciousness and abundance, okay? And once we come to this realization that our supply comes from an enlightened consciousness, knowing that we are God within, that our supply becomes infinite. There's no limit to its bounty. And we need not focus on the efforts or forms that we desire, but only this knowing. the forms that become manifest after this knowing are far greater than we could ever imagine in our conscious mind. They are limitless. So if you think about that, as you move your shift your consciousness and move to this thinking of all is available to you already within you, amazing things happen in your life. Now, I can think of many times in my life where I've experienced this, and it almost seems miraculous. And I talked about this in some of my other podcasts about, being in the flow and embracing your spiritual path. And a lot of it has to do with letting go and letting things flow divinely to you. And it's creating an energy and mindset where you're not in a place of worry, not in a place of thinking about scarcity or lack. And sometimes you may be actually in that position where you're in a place of scarcity and lack because you have things in your life energetically that don't serve you, that have caused you to experience that in your life. And I can speak to that from personal experience where I've lost everything and had nothing. Didn't have a loving relationship, didn't have a job, didn't have anything, and actually ended up homeless for a few months, living out of a tent because I didn't have anything. But releasing all of that was a powerful experience of understanding what was truly important in terms of not just supply, but in terms of what is really important in terms of what is meaningful in your life. Whatever attachments you have to the things in your life, phones, cars, homes, vacation, all these things that you think about that bring you joy, it's only temporary, and you can't take it with you when you leave this plane of existence. They really are not that important. Doesn't mean we aren't going to enjoy those, but we would enjoy them so much more if we were in a place of abundance and not one of lack. So, for me, that was a turning point in my life of releasing a lot of things in my life that no longer served and energetically were holding me back from shifting my mindset into this consciousness of infinite supply. And after that, miraculous things began to happen. Things showed up, opportunities came into my life, and boom, 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 they built and grew in a very short period of time. So it is by God's grace that the burden of supply is removed from our consciousness. It's after we shift that mindset where we think we can't have that. And then we flow with the movement of nature. It really is connecting with nature. That omnipotent, omniscient, omnipresent energy and force exist in all things. And if it exists in all things, then it must exist within you. So make a commitment now to actively shift your consciousness to that place of energetic knowing, to that place of infinite supply. To do this, you must let go of the conventional way of thinking in the world. Hold on to a clear vision of what you desire. See it, vision it, believe it. Affirm that it is already here. And then let it go. Turn it over to God and the universal law, that universal intelligence within all things. That is the true secret and power of infinite supply. Choose the path of incredible bounty that you hold at your fingertips. Everything is already in its divine right order. It is already within you. Embody that divine energy. Now, as a practical application, how do we start to move this energy within us? And as I've talked about before, and this is again is an excerpt from my book, Quantum Grace, some contemplations for the spiritual journey. And each inspirational message in the book has a meditation that is centered around the message, and also an affirmation. And then, in this case, I am that infinite supply. And you just take this one thing and sit with that for a day, two, whatever you feel like you need to do. Write it down, journal. I encourage you to write, because it's not only seeing, it's not only hearing, but it's also physically an activity associated with that affirmation or practice that we're doing. This is why meditation, as we're breathing in and breathing out, we're breathing in energy and breathing out. We're shifting the energy and moving it through our bodies. So the meditation practice that we do is a physical practice as well. And there's actually scientific support for meditation that actually shifts the biochemistry in your body as well. Changes your breathing and moves you to a peaceful place. So spiritual practice, it is a practice. That's why we call it a practice. It's something you do every day. You write, you journal, you speak the affirmations, you do the meditations. And whatever it is for you in your life that's coming up as part of this, in this case, any thoughts you have of scarcity or lack, they're not true, they're an illusion. You can release them. It's really that simple to do. Now, it takes practice, and you can do that. But this is where spiritual discernment is so valuable on our spiritual journey, and that is really being able to tell the difference of what is really resonating within you at a high vibrational energy versus what doesn't feel right, makes you sick to your stomach even. Then that's something you need to release. That's how you know. That's how you spiritually discern something in your life, whatever that is, it doesn't serve you anymore. Okay? And then, as part of the spiritual practice, we're visualizing and on what we desire in our life, affirming that it's already manifest, and then we let go, let it unfold as it does. There's no time frame. Don't put any expectations on what that is. Be expectant, but don't set expectations. So, let me leave you with some closing thoughts. Remember that the power to experience abundance is about aligning with our divine essence within us. It's about coming into spiritual alignment within us. And the only way we can do that, again, is when we release those things that don't serve us energetically anymore. So go forth with this amazing feeling of abundance, that there's no secret to this in terms of something you have to go do or spend money for or whatever to acquire. You have it within you already. You can be sitting on a beach somewhere and manifesting infinite supply within your life. I know, I've done that. You can do that as well. So go forth, do your affirmations, do your journaling, do your meditation, and certainly go back to read. I will share this inspirational message in my blog on my website, so you can go back and actually read the message. And again, with the spiritual practice, it's about repetition. So I encourage you to go to my website when the book releases. Subscribe to the newsletter or whatever, and then you'll get notifications when I post on the website a blog, on my blog post, and then also when books are released. So I'm hoping next year, this is my goal to do that. And actually, the first book that I'm going to release or publish is going to be Quantum Grace, Contemplations for the Spiritual Journey, which is pretty powerful. So, thank you for joining me today. Practice your meditation and your affirmations throughout the week. And know that infinite supply is already within you. I'm Dr. Bill with love and gratitude.